Hello and welcome to Rajya Sabha Television. You're watching The Big Picture with me, Frank Pereira. Firstly, on behalf of our entire team here at Rajya Sabha Television, I would like to wish all our viewers a very happy Republic Day. 68 years ago, the Indian Constitution came into force after a long struggle of freedom from British rule. India did not have a fixed or permanent constitution till 1950, after India got its independence in 1947. Dr. Rajendra Prasad took oath on this day as India's first president. This day, since then, holds great significance to all of us. The eve of Republic Day is marked by a speech made by the President of India, and on January 26th, the Grand Parade is held at Rajpath in New Delhi. A Republic India was a result of some 200 years of struggle from freedom from the British. This period saw a number of notable personalities who stood for the independence freedom movement. Since then, we have come a long way. On Republic Day today, we will look at the hits and misses of the Indian Republic and its journey thus far. Joining me on the program today are Tarun Vijay of the BJP, Tom Vadakkan of the Congress, and H.K. Dua, senior journalist. Thank you to all my guests for joining me on this edition of The Big Picture. Mr. Dua, I'd like to begin with you, of course, first. It's been a great journey thus far. How would you look back at the journey of India's Republic?
I think it has been a great journey. At that time, when we became free or republic, I remember having a book by abroad, and that was the general impression the foreigners had, particularly in the West, that India is headed for dangerous decades. The decades have not been dangerous. They have been dangerous, but we have overcome the dangers. I would say the biggest achievement is that we are a united nation, more united than before. They thought India will fall apart and all that kind of. It didn't. Second biggest achievement that people ignore is that we have achieved self-sufficiency in food. Not long back, before Republic, we had a Bengal famine, etc., etc. And what famine entails, the suffering, the deaths and all that. Now we don't have to go round the world with a begging bowl for food grains. In our childhood, India was dependent on PL 480 grains and all that, and it was kind of ship to mouth kind of existence. I would consider it a big achievement. Thirdly, we have gained confidence to be a major power of the world. Gain confidence to be major power. We are not yet a major power, but we are headed for it if we handle our policies and the countries and problems with little care and wisdom. We can be the world power. But much depends what we do is. Certainly our scientific power is tremendous. Technological power has gone. We are one of the major military powers, one of the largest armies. We can reach the moon.
We've reached Mars.
Mars, yes. We are orbiting it. But moon we are going to land also. If we send a man, we can have a man or a woman. Now, military power, nuclear power we have. Our defense is secure. A detonator has been created. So we don't have to worry as much about material power. But there are failings which we are not able to take into account, and that is slowing down our progress.
Okay, that is something that we'll address a little ahead in the program. Let me get the other speakers into the debate as well. Tom Vadakkan, what would you list out as our highlights or the biggest achievements? Tom Vadakkan, if you can hear me, what would you list as our biggest highlights or our achievements? I seem to have lost the line there with Tom Vadakkan. We'll try and reconnect with him. In the meantime, let me go across to our other speaker representing the BJP, of course, is Tarun Vijay. Tarun Vijay, you know, if you had to list out some of the biggest achievements of the Indian Republic over the last 68 years, what would your highlights be?
I see clearly that the theme of development has become the principal theme of our governance. And in spite of so many challenges and difficulties immediately after independence, the dreams of revolutionaries and social reformers like Subhash Chandra Bose, Pandit Deendayal Upadhyay, Dr. Keshav Rao Baliram Hedgewar, and the vision of Ram Rajya given to India by Mahatma Gandhi. It is being realized by Indian leaders and people collectively. We had seen the emergence of great democratic leaders like Jai Prakash Narayan, Ram Manohar Lohia, Purushottam Das Tandon, Sardar Patel. They all worked to keep the soul of the nation intact and keep the civilizational and the cultural threads of our nation flowing and safeguarded. That has resulted in such a wonderful reflection in our foreign policy that today, when we are discussing this in the Rajya Sabha TV, the 10 heads of state from ASEAN countries are here in Delhi as the chief guests for the Republic Day Parade, an unprecedented event, an epoch-making event in the country, and Prime Minister Narendra Modi has led a billion plus Indians not only to dream but to equip them and empower them to realize those dreams. The first time that above the communal hatred of those who had been ruling the country through riots had been completely overshadowed and eliminated by the theme of development, Vikas and Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas. Okay. It's a wonderful feeling today that the entire world is looking at India as a growing, emerging economy and a powerful country. We walk together with the great stalwarts of the world economy and leaders in the political area at par. Gone are the days when India was looking at others for some help.
Sure.
Today's India is a powerful India, a strong India, giving the great message of pluralism, freedom of thought. I can say, sir, with humility, that today India is the freest country in the world.
Okay, your point taken.
Freedom of thought flows unhindered, where the judiciary, the leadership, the different shades of the political ideologies are working together with one point of convergence, the glory of India, the glory of Mother India.
There is convergence and perfect harmony is what you're suggesting. Let me go across to Tom Vadakkan now of the Congress who's rejoined us on the program. You know, Tom Vadakkan, as far as the aspirations of the people, do you believe we've been able to meet the aspirations of the 1.3 billion people in this country?
Well, we are facing a very grim situation. Unlike the poetry that I heard just now about the motherland and the flow, there's a coordination. I'm afraid I have to beg to differ. The situation is abnormal. The economy is in shambles. Judiciary is an institution we have depended. We have really blind trust there. And what is happening? Election Commission, questionable activities. Now the whole issue is, now there are ministries which are functional, non-functional. Civil Aviation Minister has a lot to answer on the situation that's at the ground. You go to any airport, you see a situation. Railway Ministry, you travel by train, you'll see what the situation is. This is across the country. Price rise has not been addressed. The issue is the Republic faces a huge threat, not because of situations from external aggression or internal rebellion. It is about a situation of leadership, and leadership needs trust, and trust can only be created when you deliver the promises you made. When you don't deliver, when there is trust deficit, problems like this are bound to rise. Now you have a situation in the Supreme Court, you have a situation in the Election Commission, questions are asked at every election time. Free and fair elections were the promises that have always been held. And now you have a situation where questions are asked. Point is, trust deficit is missing. And unless this is introduced, there is a problem in our republic. People are losing
the
jobs.
points that you're making.
Jobs.
I have a small counter. At Davos, we saw the entire world looking towards India to show them the way forward, really, and that vision was shown by the Prime Minister Narendra Modi at Davos. You're talking about the economy. The IMF and the World Bank have both said that India is a bright spot and India is going to be the fastest growing developing economy in the years to come. So what do you have to say about that?
Well, we had statistics that 1% of the entire country gets about out of the 76% or 73, I'm not sure about the statistics there. Now that is the figure. You can make a jolly good presentation in Davos and come back home and say, well, everything is honky-dory. Where are the investments coming? Where is the job creation? Where is the industrial production? What is the issue about price rise? We all did that. Everybody goes and say everything is fine. You come and invest in India. Where is the investment coming? These are issues that need to be addressed. It's very good. I'm proud of my country that you make such powerful presentations abroad. But point is, when the man in the street is asking questions, the man at the bottom of the line is hungry. These are issues that need to be addressed. Davos, Switzerland, fine, brilliant. The question is, where's the black money that was supposed to arrive? Has it arrived? No. Question is, we need to do a lot to address this trust deficit. And this country is watching them closely. Limited time to deliver, and this is the time best to deliver if the republic has to be strengthened. Questions are being raised.
Let me take the point that you're making to Mr. H.K. Dua. Mr. Dua, what are the real issues that are troubling India today and how do we overcome them?
The real issues troubling India are manifold. Some are the basic questions. And then I'll come to the little immediate questions. One of the fundamental mistakes has been we have not given enough importance to education. We are fairly down, even below African countries, on the table for as far as the education is concerned. Literacy has been spread considerably, but not education where the person can, on the basis of his or her education, can get a job. Second is, our health as an issue has been ignored for both spending as well as achievement. Look at the way of our hospitals. If there are primary schools, primary health centers, the doctors are not available. They don't want to work there. There are not enough doctors. That will force them to go to the villages. If doctors are there, nurses are not there, or paramedical staff is not there, or both are there, the medicines are not available. The diagnostic facilities are not there in the rural areas. Thirdly, the unemployment is growing. That's a sad thing, and that doesn't bid well for the nation's future. Unemployed, semi-educated person landing in the job market can be a source of social tensions, and they are visible.
Sure.
Okay. They are visible and unsettling the peace. Now, these are the serious threats. Education, job, then requires shelter also. If you don't have a job, you won't be able to pay the rent or own a house. Now, it will take time to come, but how much? Country has been independent since 47, Republic for, as you said, 68, 8 years. How long the people will go? And people have started asking the question, how long? Now, that feeling of unrest is leading to social tensions on some issue or another, like there is Dalit protest, there are farmers protest, there is an urban protest, and something is even now going. What are we going to present to the 10 Asian heads of government in town today, in Delhi, when the buses are being burnt in the neighboring state, etc.
That's a valid point that you're making. Let me take that point that you're making too, Tarun, Vijay. Of course, you know, on one hand, you're presenting a very a great picture of India, a rosy picture of India, bright picture of India. But on the other hand, there are issues like the Karnataka Bandh that you have today. You have the issues of you know, social unrest as far as the movie Padmavat is concerned. So you know, there are mixed signals being sent out to the world. Tarun, Vijay, is what Mr. H.K. Dua is saying.
Rajya Sabha TV, sir, I shouldn't have expected that you would invite two spokespersons from the Congress and one from BJP to reply to them. I'm sorry, those who have been living in the darkness for decades and responsible for making India live in this darkness. Every day India woke up to a new corruption and scandal. Every day India woke up to a new communal riot. More than 3,273 communal riots were occurred under Congress rule, and Mr. Dua, who has been a distinguished editor of a newspaper and my colleague in Rajya Sabha, he has not mentioned at all. And he says that what's the use of inviting the 10 heads of the state from ASEAN countries? Are you living in the dark orbit, sir? Sorry, you should have been happy that the first time in the history of last 7 decades of India, the entire ASEAN leadership is here in India. Not just to see the Republic Day, Mr. Dua, sir. They are here to sign the agreements on science, technology, scholarships,
not inviting them.
Exchanges,
let him complete.
on manufacturing and strengthening the economic relations between us. They are not here just for fun. They are very busy people. And you are making a mockery of this great event. I'm so sorry. The World Bank, IMF, they are not run by South Bloc. They are not working under the Finance Ministry of Government of India. And you are making a joke of them. And that gentleman is saying that, what if a jolly good presentation is made in Davos? What do you mean by that? He is your country's Prime Minister. He is a representative of yours as much as he is a representative of mine. If India grows, why you go into the mourning? There are people who want to go into mourning when there is a celebration around. And what kind of a Dalit unrest and the urban unrest and the village unrest you are talking about, sir? More than 48 million jobs have been created in the last 9 months, according to not Finance Ministry in the North Bloc, but according to the international financial institutions.
Okay.
Where are the jobs? You don't see and you don't read the newspapers.
You've counted the previous
Where
two
are
speakers.
these jobs?
You've
You
counted
don't
the
look at these reports. And you are making a wild allegation generalized on the eve of a Republic Day. Which country you belong to, sir? You belong to India. If India grows, you should be happy, whichever party,
okay,
whichever color.
Point taken. Let me go ahead and bring in the other panelists also into the debate. You know, okay, fine. Several issues being raised, Tom Vadakkan. How do we address them? What do we do to be a better society, a better country going ahead?
My friend from the Bharatiya Janata Party is in a world of his own. These manufactured statistics by different organizations, how they are managed and how they are done. I'm sorry, I'm proud of my country. I don't need certificates of my pride of my country. I don't need certificates, but I have to speak some home truths, whether you like it or not. Jobs, where are they? Informal sector wiped out. Point is, the reality is you need to deliver. There is still time. Deliver on those promises. The Supreme Court is in a situation. You're talking about a film that is creating havoc in this country? I mean, has the central government said one word? Ministers are talking about school buses. Children are being attacked. And divisive politics for what? Votes? I love my country. I don't care who comes or who goes. But point is, I don't want my country divided on passions, on issues, so that you get your blessed vote. It is a political party's duty to unite India, not to divide India. If you have compulsions, go straight to the people, talk to them straight, but don't divide this country. That is a plea I'm telling the Bharatiya Janata Party spokesman. He's talking about lack of patriotism on our side.
But
He's talking about ASEAN. Let him read the history of ASEAN.
You can't just accuse the Bharatiya Janata Party of playing vote bank politics. Tom Vadakkan, you can't just accuse the Bharatiya Janata Party of playing vote bank politics. Your party, your party, the Congress too, has done it for several years now.
Saying what I'm saying. No, I stand by my statement. I stand by my statement. You can't dismiss it. The reality is before the people of India.
But yet you lose election after election and the BJP is winning at the end of the day, and you know, the people seem to be supporting what the BJP is doing today. Anyways, moving ahead now, Mr. Dua, where do we stand as a vibrant democracy?
I have a feeling that the institutions which have declined over the decades, it's not a question of BJP or Congress, which Tarun Vijay is trying to convert into. It's not that. That's unfortunate. I'm very happy the heads of the government 10 are here. I'm very happy about that. But we should not be burning buses during their presence here at least. But that apart, there are lots of challenges before the country at this time. One is...
One at a time.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. It's all Congress behind the burning of buses.
Let's move beyond that. Let's move beyond that. Let's move beyond that. Please, gentlemen, let's move beyond that. Mr. Tarun Vijay, you'll get your say. Mr. Dua, please.
Which is responsible is not the question. But as a nation, we are not presenting a good picture of ourselves.
Sure.
It's not a question of Congress or BJP. That is between Vadakkan and Tarun Vijay. We have to present a picture of a cohesive, inclusive society. Even Prime Minister spoke about inclusive economic development also in Davos. And on some other speeches also is mentioned. But on the ground, we are not presenting a picture of inclusive society. We are not presenting a picture of tolerance. Otherwise, buses won't be burnt. There won't be so much of unrest. And to think there are no jobless in the country, is not jobless or not growing, that will be living in a different kind of a utopian, imaginary utopian world that there are no jobless. Jobless is more jobless are landing than jobs are being created.
But sir, jobs are being created.
Just let me complete.
Say something about it.
Okay, let him complete. You'll have your say. Okay, please continue.
Jobs have been left by Congress party or no more are not coming. That's not a question. That's between you two to sort it out. Between themselves, the two parties can sort it out. The fact is the jobless are landing in numbers. An equal number of jobs is not being created.
So jobs are being created, but the number of jobs that we need,
absolutely,
absolutely. It's a question of demand and supply. Yes,
they can be source of social unrest.
Okay,
whether that unrest comes in the picture of farmers' unrest, whether it is rural or urban unrest and all that, that's a danger to the society.
Okay,
and
I've got limited time.
And further progress also. Economic progress will not be as fast if there is not a cohesive society and tolerance, and which full attention is not going to be given to the economic development.
Sure. Tarun Vijay, what's the way forward?
So the way forward is to look towards a future where the economic empowerment is the principal theme of our polity. Unless we have the development and the economic empowerment for the common people, for the farmers, for the laborers, and be united to eliminate the scourge of terrorism, Naxalism, Maoism, the Communist Party's terrorism in Kerala and in Bengal, and the jihadi terrorism in Kashmir and other parts. How can we work for the prosperity and poverty alleviation? All the voices must be united to see that India grows. Your party will not grow, or my party will not grow, if India is declined.
That's a very valid point that you're making. I'm going to take that point to Tom Vadakkan and then close the show with that. Because, Tom Vadakkan, can political parties raise above petty politics and put the nation first?
Yes, that is the need of the nation. That is the call of the nation. We need to unitedly fight the divisive forces. We need to fight against external forces, and we are united on security issues. We have supported the government from time to time, but there are advisories that we present that needs to be taken into mind, and this can be only arrived at consensus. And I think in the nation-building activity, it's about consensus, it is about consulting the opposition and unitedly facing the world, which is a message that needs to go on this Republic Day. We are proud of our nation, we can go ahead, but point is, we need to work together towards that end.
And let's hope that all of us can put our heads together and work together and take India forward in its 69th year of Republic, of course. Thank you so much to all my guests for joining me on this edition of The Big Picture. A happy Republic Day to all our viewers once again. That's it from me. See you again next time.
Thank you, friend.